So there's no doubt about it, the real estate market is shifting and changing. And if you're thinking of buying or selling, it's remotely on your radar. This is definitely a video that you'll want to watch. So let's start with the average sales price. I've got some statistics here. The average sales price in the Kansas City metro area is $308,179. That's an increase of 8.7% versus last year. Up next is the days on market. In other words, how long after you decide to list the home will it sit on the market before you'll receive an offer? And right now that's 18 days on average, and that's down almost 53%. So not only is your house going to sell for more, but it's also going to sell in a faster amount of time. We hear a lot about multiple offers. So let's take a look at the percentage of original price received. Currently, it's 101.4%. That's up 2%. So last year, you'd put your home on the market and it would sell maybe at or slightly below the asking price. Today, it's actually going to push up above the listing price. So again, sell faster, sell for more money, and you're probably going to get into a multiple offer situation. And finally, the big number that I like to look at is the inventory. The inventory is down nearly 21.9%. So the amount of listings for sale is driving a lot of what we're starting to see now. Buyers are becoming frustrated. There's a lack of homes to choose from, coupled with the baby boomers who are kind of housing in place right now and not really releasing a whole lot of inventory in the market. It is slim pickings for buyers. So as a seller, that puts you in the driver's seat. Now, let me give you a quick few thoughts on how these statistics impact your chances if you are a buyer or a seller. If you're a buyer right now, my advice to you is if you have an immediate housing need, let's go ahead and let's get out there. Let's look for homes. Let's really turn over every stone right now and find you that right house. There's a few things that we have in place, including off-market listings that can help us to give you access to the entirety of the market, not just the houses that are on MLS. These include bank-owned properties, foreclosures, short sales, and even some corporate relocation deals that we have access to. Now, if you have an opportunity to be patient, then in the fall and winter coming up, those I've seen some of the best discounts as a buyer, because the sellers are usually more motivated to sell in the winter than they are during any other time, because that's typically not the best time to sell your home if you're a home seller. So they're much more motivated and maybe willing to deal. Also, buyers are used to going out and looking at homes when the weather's warm, when the weather's nice. So during the fall and the winter, you could go, and if you can deal with cruddy weather and going out when it's snowing and things like that, you'll be able to find some excellent deals. Now, as a seller, you're still in the driver's seat, with one caveat that I'll tell you about here in a minute. The low interest rates, I believe, are not going to be going anywhere anytime in the next 3 to 6 months. Now, there is talk that the Federal Reserve is going to start tapering mortgage-backed security, the purchase of mortgage-backed securities. They're buying somewhere in the estimate of $150 billion a month in mortgage-backed securities. What that allows lenders to do is keep the rates down and competitive. So that's driving a lot of the market activity and the buyer demand. If the Federal Reserve starts to taper those rates, then we may start seeing an adjustment in interest rates and the buyer demand is going to go down. I don't need to sit here and tell you what happens when that occurs. That's usually not a very good thing. So I think in probably the next 6 months to a year, the market is going to go from an extreme seller's market that we're in right now, and it's going to gradually move toward a more balanced market. Now, if you're a home seller that's looking to sell this and buy, this could actually end up being a good thing, because one of the things that worries and frustrates and concerns most of the sellers who become buyers that I work with is they say, you know what, I could sell my home and make a really good amount of money, but I'm going to also probably give up that extra equity when I go and buy, because I'm going to be in a multiple offer situation. So is it really worth it? what do I have to gain? And that's a great question. So if we move toward a more balanced market, which I think that we will see, then you can sell your home, still get a good price, and then be able to move and be able to get that next house at a relatively good price. So now I have statistics for every single neighborhood, every single type of home, every single property in this market. And what I've just given you is just a overview and all of the averages. If you would like to discuss a specific situation that you have, then I invite you to give me a call and reach out, and I am happy to do the research necessary and to tell you for your area and your price range and for your type of home or your asset class that you're trying to sell, what does the market look like relative to what you're trying to do and what your current situation is. All of my contact information is below, and I hope you'd enjoy this September market update, and I look forward to seeing you again in October with a recap of that month's market as well.